All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Whiskey Hour podcast, where our goal is to educate, innovate, and bring positivity to the masses. I'm your boy, JJ McLovin. I'm joined with Eric this evening for the Whiskey Hour. How are you doing, Eric?
I'm good, man. I'm rocking a good mood, man. A lot of good things happened this week in the sports world. So I'm pretty happy, man. I'm pretty happy.
That is awesome, my brother. So today, eventually, in a few minutes, we will have a guest come on our show, and I'll introduce him at that time. For right now, let's roll into some football, Big Eric. What do you think about what's going on right now with all the injuries? Let's talk about that real quick.
Well, see, I have a weird take on the injuries, but at the same time, I feel like it's terrible because they didn't have the proper, preseason games. They didn't have the camps, the original, how they usually do things. So I feel like that played a huge part in it. But at the same time, there's a part of me that thinks that maybe they got a little lazy in the offseason with this COVID thing and not training the way they should have been, with all the money these guys have and the abilities that they have and the avenues they have to approach, they could have been training 100% just the way they always have been. So I don't see where that could have been an excuse. But my thing is the field. That field is under investigation, the 49ers game. And it makes sense because they're looking into why. I've never seen a football game with that many injuries in one game. I've never seen it.
Absolutely. And it's, like you said, I really think a lot of it has to do with this not having the preseason. I mean, COVID-19 is just wreaking havoc all across 2020. I mean, you can look at it in the basketball realm. You can look at it in the football realm. I mean, everywhere you see, it's just, not having these preseason games, and then you look at baseball having a shortened season. I mean, there's just injuries all over the place. And I think, like you said, a lot of it is these older athletes. They need that preseason time, or they need that full season time to have longer rotations to actually, be able to perform in the leagues. And they're not getting that. And this is what we got. I mean, look at Saquon Barkley. It's crazy. I mean, the guy tears an ACL. Nick Bosa out for the season. Saquon out for the season.
And what's crazy is people like them, you don't think that it's that detrimental to them to have that preseason or that training camp. I mean, look at Saquon Barkley. That guy's a freak of nature. Same with Bosa. They're both nuts, and you'd never expect to see them hurt or get hurt in the fashion that they did so quick into a season. I don't know the reasoning behind it. I wish I did. My view on it is it's pretty crazy, but the Giants now in talks of signing Devonta Freeman, former Falcon. I don't know if that's a good pickup or not.
Yeah. Well, for the Falcon, I think for them it probably is because they're hurting. So, and Freeman, hey, let's not forget what Freeman did a while ago with Atlanta. Freeman wasn't exactly bad. Now, is Gurley an upgrade to Freeman? Yeah, of course he is. But at the same time, Freeman's not like some slouch running back. I think he's going to provide the role they need for while they need it. He's not their long-term solution by no means.
Yeah, but with the Giants going from Saquon and then they're going to bring Devonta Freeman in, it's just what kind of ground are you going to cover missing him?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with you on that. I think, so where's the more notable injuries, right? So we got Drew Lock.
All right. I'm going to cut you off backstage. Our guest is here.
Outstanding. Let's bring him in.
All right. Let me bring it. So, hey.
There he is.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
What's up, Joe? Long time.
I am doing well. I'm going to give you a proper introduction. So for those on board right now listening, tonight we have a special guest, a very good friend of mine, the Honorable Judge Joe Stevens, former Houston Rocket and social activist. So for those who don't know, that Joe really does give a lot back to our community, and we really appreciate this young man and all that he does for justice of the peace duties and things of those nature. So, and hey, Joe, he's also or was, I don't know if Joe, if you still are, I know he was on the educational board, and he does a lot for our young people. And if you don't know, Joe gives back more than anybody I know. And with all the things that he balances, We love you, Joe.
Thank you so much, man. Let me first and foremost say, brother, the show has been upgraded, right?
Yeah.
The first show, man, we didn't have all of these props in your name, man. Congratulations, man. You guys have come a long way.
It's to that man in the corner. Corner.
Hey, that's because we have a really awesome backstage guy, and he's taking really good care of us. And we didn't have that in the beginning. I think the beginning, we were just out there doing crazy stuff. Heather Young, hey, nice to see you.
This is official, man. We at first it was just whiskey and Zoom. Now we're official, man.
Well, Joe, we still have whiskey, Joe.
Look.
Hey, I went back and looked at all your archives. I did all kinds of crazy I could find to find just the right pictures. And actually, the ones that I got really weren't the ones that were used. They went back and found even better ones of you, and they put them out. And that's kind of where we are. And I was really happy because, like I said, you're an outstanding young man, and we appreciate you being on our show for the second time.
Yeah,
and hopefully, if I can squeeze out enough of this friendship, I can get you on for another go around down the road.
Man. I'm not very photogenic, so I'm just glad y'all were able to find something that could pass the test for me, man.
Yeah, it was amazing. I watched your clip not long ago that you gave on Facebook, and you have more hair now, I think, than you did when you were in your younger days on that clip.
You know, that was the Michael Jordan days. Everybody wanted to be like Mike, so you had
trying to rub that Barney Stone.
You had to have a bald head and run down the court with your tongue out. And it took me till I'm 47 now, and I realized I had a big ass egghead, man. I had no business with a bald head.
Hey, that's all right. Hey, that's how we live and learn, baby. But let me tell you something.
I'm looking at these clips like, what in the hell was I thinking about, man? And I used to shave it like that. The funny part about you bringing that up, I see guys now, and they're like, dude, you went to Hair Club for Men? And I'm like, nah, I could actually grow hair the whole time. I shaved it on purpose.
Hang on, you got the number for Hair Club for Men? Because I am actually bald.
Oh, shit.
Hey, Braun over there with the back part of his scalp begging for hair, and Joe over there shaving it for free.
Braun needs to go wherever Deion Sanders went. Wherever Primetime went. Have you seen Primetime's hair?
Yes. Why the heck? Why he has a whole head of hair?
His edge up went from here to here.
Yeah. Look at mine. Mine's just like.
Look, inbox DM Deion Sanders. Whatever the hell he did, he's figured out the hair loss thing.
I'm gonna DM him. I bet you he won't answer, but I'm gonna do it.
Hey, for those of y'all don't know, and Joe, I'm sorry, I know I'm gonna mispronounce your daughter's name. I've been trying to figure out how to say her name forever.
It's Alan.
Is it Aileen?
Alan.
You know what? I was gonna say Alan, but I didn't. I was like, nah, I don't know.
My middle name is Alan, so we tried to find a jazzy way to spell it. So we spelled it Allyn instead of Allen.
Well, I like
that makes sense. Yeah. So for y'all who don't know, Joe's daughter, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the day that she makes her LPGA debut, because I know she's on the junior LPGA or something of that nature, right?
Yeah, she plays AJGA, American Junior Golf Association, a lot of local too. We go all over the country, man. As a matter of fact, she just got back from Stanford at a big tournament. Didn't do as well as she wanted to, but still hung in there and fought the whole time. I mean, it's golf, man. It's a tough game. Just finished 4th in Louisiana this weekend, and she actually qualified to play in the Nota Begay Invitational, the first ever. It's going to be at Casati Pines down at the Coshada Casino in November. And that one's going to be aired on the Golf Channel. So, very proud of her. Man, she's different from me. Had I listened, I probably could have played a little bit longer. But she actually does the things I ask her to do. And it's turning out pretty good for her, man. I wish I had the knowledge, Jason, that we have now.
Yeah.
Go back to 18 and do it again. So I've kind of made it my life's work to share my testimony and share the stuff that I know with kids and beg them, please, man, please. I probably missed out on 100 million, and I do well, but I could have been like really good if I would have just listened to people, man. But I wanted to do it my way, and it turned out okay, man. But hindsight is 20/20.
I think it turned out pretty well.
It's funny you say that, because my son, I do the same thing with my son wrestles, and we travel all winter for wrestling, and he plays football as well. And he loves basketball, but he's being 7. There's no good AAU team out here for him at that age. He's got to wait a couple more years. But I played basketball in college after the Army just to just to see if I could still do it. And I didn't get many minutes, but I still made the team. But I tell him every day, like when he's working and we go to wrestling practice, and he's incredible. He's a first, second, third place finisher at every tournament we've ever been to. And we live in New York, so it's pretty tough competition. And I tell him every day, I'm like, man, whatever you do, don't give up. Do not give up. It doesn't matter your size. I grew up being small. I didn't grow till I was later in life. So like, I'm like, dude, if I had the height and the size I had now, same thing. I'd be on the gridiron playing tight end somewhere. Like
I tell kids all the time, the only people that don't make it are the ones that quit.
Exactly. I quit. I tell them every day.
If you show up early and leave late, it can only turn out one way.
Yep.
I was college teammates with Derek Fisher, a longtime Los Angeles Laker, hardest working guy I've ever been around. And we laughed at him in college, because he was always there before us. And he's laughing now.
Of course. Of course.
$100 million later, five championships. No numerous. I mean, maybe a Hall of Famer. I don't know.
I think he will be.
Yeah. So I mean, I've witnessed it shoulder to shoulder with a guy that knocked it out of the park. And the difference between what he did and what I did was probably about 45 minutes a day, if you want to put it in time, 45 minutes to an hour more per day. And I always think, had I put in that extra hour per day, what would it have done for me now? You know what I mean? And I'll never know. You know what I mean? That's the kicker. I'll never know. So I'm encouraging kids to put in that extra hour, come early, stay late, and let's just see. Let's just see.
That's exactly what I tell my kid now every day, man. It doesn't matter how hard it hurt, how bad it hurts, how hard it is. You work hard, you're gonna love it in the end. I mean,
and the sacrifice you make now, the girls, the video games, you'll be able to have all the girls, all the video games. You drink what you want, you do what the hell you want at 25.
Hell, you can retire at 30 and never have to lift a finger
what
again.
I'm saying, and then you can do what the fuck you want. Excuse me.
I agree, man. I tell you,
speaking of doing what we want, Joe, I got a question, man.
Yes, sir.
I got a question. Listen, I know you're an avid golf guy, so I'm gonna start this off real quick. Tiger Woods did a 7 over 77, missed the cut at the U.S. Open.
Yeah,
he's 2 majors away, if I'm not mistaken. You may correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he shot 16 majors. Jack's at 18. He's 3 majors away from taking over the lead. What's up, man? Tiger Woods gonna get there?
Well, I think he's got 15 majors.
He's got 15.
Is it 15? Okay.
15. He needs to get 3 more.
Right.
There's one person in all the universe that's undefeated. Well, there's 2. Mother Nature and Father Time, right? Mm-hmm. They're both undefeated. Technology, he may get there. Look, golf is a funny game, right? It's not basketball. It's not. It's you got it one week. Look at Jordan Spieth. This guy was a world beater 3 years ago, and you got to hold on to golf. It's like a jealous girlfriend, man. You got to hold on to her while you got her. You know what I mean? And when you don't have her, you got to work to get her back.
Well, it's what I randomly thought of this today. I play golf, and this summer I just started getting into low 90s consistently. Sometimes 100, 110. I play a lot of easy courses. To me, that's all I want. I want to be a bogey golfer. I just love it. Going out there, and I love the game. But Rory was a little upset this past weekend about DeChambeau. Because they're saying the way that he plays the game is not the way golf should be played. And
he sounded like a bitch.
That's what I said. Because why are you mad? Why are you mad? You lost. You lost to a dude that dude hit straight piss missiles. It doesn't matter where it goes.
He hadn't broke any rules.
No,
he didn't. He's like, well, I guess that it doesn't hurt the game. Like, hurt the game? What are you talking about? Like,
he said, well, he only hit 26 of his 50-some fairways. I'm like, dude, he still beat you.
It's like saying Steph Curry, well, look, man, this guy, if you want to shoot from half court, I guess that's basketball. Hey, man, he made it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't like it, do something about it.
Yeah, learn to hit.
So what? So he's found what works for him. That's the beauty about sports, right?
Yeah.
That's the beauty about life. You got some guys in UFC that are knockout artists.
Yep.
You got others that are grapplers that'll make you submit.
Yep.
That's two ends of the spectrum, and there's stuff in between. And maybe somebody comes out with something new that the guy figured out what works for him. I felt like Rory. I told you what he sounded like, man. It was
stupid. I was so mad when I read
that.
Yeah,
I was. He just, but that's Rory and Sergio. Those guys are kind of cut from the same cloth. European dudes, man. They kind of, they whine a little bit. But back to Tiger. Tiger has something that not many people have. He's special. I think he's the best golfer that in my generation. He's my Michael Jordan of golf.
100%.
And I just believe that a 46-year-old man and that's got 20 more years and probably got 40 more majors. I think he's going to get 3. I believe that.
Too. I really do. I hope Tiger does because I'm rooting for Tiger, and I really hope he can get past some of those injuries that we talked about with Mother Nature and things of that nature. And like you said earlier,
keep in mind, back in the day, they used to count USGA championships as majors.
Yeah, so why don't they do that anymore?
All of those US juniors, US men's amateurs that he won, he'd be at 20-something right now. I don't know why they don't count him. My daughter's qualified for a USGA event. Twice she's done it. 4-ball and US Girls Junior. Almost did qualify for the US Open. It is the hardest, most grueling thing you could ever do. When a guy wins a USGA championship, I think Tiger won 6 in a row.
He did. Yeah, it was something like that.
He won US Juniors. And then he went and started. I think he won 4 or 6 in a row. To me, that's his most incredible feat. Aside from the Masters, to win 6 straight USGA events is unbelievable, man.
It's pretty wild. I bring my son with me to golf, and he has his own clubs. And I let him hit off the tee when I come off the tee, and then wherever my ball lands with it, like close to the green or whatever, I let him go from there and finish the hole. And he loves going out there. I mean, it's just funny to see those 7-year-olds.
That's how my daughter started. She's 16. She used to ride in the back in a little basket behind you.
That's what he does.
I drive around. She's like 4 years old. I throw a ball down. I still got pictures of her with a little pink club, and she'd whack it. And she'd get back in and watch Dora the Explorer. And I'd play, and that was our thing. And then finally, she's actually started liking it. And, here we are, man. Hopefully with God's blessing, we'll get a scholarship and, it'll pay off for her, man.
It's funny to see the competitive edge in the youth because I remember one time it blew my mind. I missed like a 8-foot putt, and it was an easy green. And I watched him sink a ball. I just tossed the ball. It was like 12 feet from the pin. I go ahead and swing that, buddy. And he sits there, looks at it. I'm like, there's no way. So I walk away, and I hear him say, "Let's go." And I turn around. And I'll be a son of a bitch. It was a foot away from the pin, and actually had a slow roll, hit the edge, and dropped in. And he did the whole fist up in the air and threw his thumb. I said, "What the heck?"
Yeah, man. You don't have to teach him. It's just innate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, now I'm ready to get into some basketball. You ready to talk some basketball, Joe?
Let's do it.
All right, man. This is where I want to hear your thoughts and comments on. Lakers up 2-0 in a pivotal game 3 tonight. We all saw what Anthony Davis did when he yelled, "Kobe!" Yeah. And he hit that game-winning 3, and just all the Nuggets could do was say, "What the hell just happened?"
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen? Number one, do you think the Nuggets can rally from this like they have in the past 2 series? And number 2, what do you think they need to do tonight to get over, or what do you think they need to do to solve the theory of the 2 big men in LA?
Let me say this, man. They don't count them out. This is a very unique situation in the bubble. There's no home court advantage, right? There's no crowd. You're not in the Staples Center. You're not in the Mile High Center in Denver. You're in a basically like a summer league type atmosphere.
It just feels like AAU.
It's the AAU type atmosphere. You notice that the benches are a little more lively. There's a lot of energy on the bench, unlike a regular NBA game. The Nuggets got some very young legs. They've got some good guards. They got a budding superstar in the kid from Canada. I forgot his name.
Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray. I wouldn't count him out. Jokic is a hell of a player and a passer. I'm not counting the Nuggets out. Now, if they lose tonight, it's pretty much over, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't know, though, Joe, because they came back when they were down 3 games.
You're talking about the Lakers and the Clippers.
Yeah, and the difference is you got a hell of a – well, I don't know. But, even with that, let me say this. Because I thought that just goes to show it's really a summer league atmosphere because the Clippers had Doc Rivers, Sam Cassell, Ty Lue on the bench. I'm talking about the coaching staff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
So you didn't outcoach that coaching staff.
No.
It speaks to the kind of atmosphere it is. I really think that you got the best player in the world in LeBron James. He's a guy that could perennially be the MVP of the league, despite the numbers, right? And the things he brings to the table. You put him on the Rockets next year, they're a championship contender, legit. You put him in Memphis next year, they're a championship contender. He's the kind of guy that takes a C-rate player like Joe Stevens and makes him an A player. When I get done playing with LeBron, I go somewhere and steal $50 million because they think I can play.
And I'm going to bring up Mr. Herrera, who just said that he wants to count them out, but he can't. I want to count them out. I can't. Yeah, I want to count them out, but I can't. I mean, you can't count them out like Joe said. I mean, you can't.
They almost won. They won the other night. That game was they won with a buzzer. They won. What 48 minutes and 59 seconds of that game the other night. Whatever they won 47 minutes and 59 seconds of that game. I don't even know if the Lakers led a whole lot. It didn't like they got blown out of the gym. You know what I mean?
They won off a hope and dream.
It should be 1-1. They're 1 second away from the series being 1-1. You can't count them out.
The only thing that makes me nervous about them is everybody keeps saying, and Trost would say this quite a lot, is that the Lakers give you the first game. It's kind of like LeBron's feeler out game, and then they kick it into gear. We kind of saw that with Houston, where Houston kind of dominated game 1, but then the rest of them was just dominated by the Lakers. And they didn't win tonight. They didn't win that game 1. They lost kind of like, you want to quote unquote, the feeler game.
Well,
and now
the Nuggets have big men, right? They got an inside game. The Rockets, man. Look, I'm not a D'Antoni fan.
Nope.
The three ball analytics stuff doesn't work in basketball. You've got to have some chemistry. You got to have some guys that work well together, and you got to have an inside presence. The dribble, step back 3. It's amazing, right? I mean, James Harden is the best I've ever seen at it. I just don't think that wins championships. You got to prove me. You got to DeChambeau me on that one.
Well, for me, it's like watching D'Antoni with the Rockets. It's very lackluster in the sense you're right. The small ball, I can't stand it because I mean, as you can see, I'm a diehard Celtics fan, and we lack a big, but we have something that other teams don't. We have a pair of wings that will go off for 30 or 40 at any moment. Yeah, and the Rockets don't have it.
Y'all are getting easy baskets, and the Celtics are getting easy baskets. The Rockets don't get easy baskets, man. A step back 3 half the time is a horrible shot, and it leads to long rebounds, and they do it at a very high percentage, man. To their credit, but you just can't beat easy baskets, and the Celtics get easy baskets, man, and they play defense.
For me, I mean, in college, in my high school career, everywhere I've ever learned to play basketball, dribble, penetrate, and then when you penetrate, you draw defense, and somebody's always open. You're either gonna go to the line, or you're gonna take a 40% chance at making a 3. I mean, I don't understand why you just dance around the 3 line. It just doesn't. It doesn't.
Jason is guarding PJ Tucker in one corner. You're guarding Michael. You're guarding Westbrook in the other corner, and I'm guarding James Harden. Y'all two ain't working very hard on defense. No. Y'all are standing in one spot, and you're watching James Harden, and you're like, okay, and you're relaxing. The Celtics if I'm playing the Celtics, I'm chasing guys. I'm trying to run through screens. I'm working on defense.
Let me ask you, Joe, and before we segue into the Celtics, which is actually a good thing to bring up because I want to go to the Celtics here in a second. But since we're kind of talking about the Rockets, and we all know there's a lot of coaching vacancies out there, we just saw Billy Donovan, who just signed on with the Chicago Bulls.
That's a good sign, by the way.
Well, he's most likely going to sign. It looks like, according to what this promoting. Who do you think should come in for the Rockets? Like, who would you like to see, Joe, as the next coach for the Rockets? I've heard Cassell out there and a few other names. Who do you want to see come in as our next head coach to take us to the promised land?
The Jet,
the Tony Dungy of basketball. You remember what Tony Dungy did in Tampa Bay?
Yep,
I do.
You remember what Gruden did after Tony Dungy left?
Yes.
Mark Jackson.
But let me ask you a question, Joe, on that, because I've heard Mark Jackson's name's been up there too. But Mark Jackson has yet to really get to the promised land either.
He built Golden State.
He did.
He built Golden State. He called it when he called Steph and Clay the best shooting backcourt in the history of basketball, and everybody thought he was crazy.
No, that's true.
He got sideways with management, and they were a year or two from doing it. I think Mark Jackson hadn't had about one job. I don't think he's had a bunch of jobs.
No.
Right.
He's a junkyard dog too. He's a junkyard dog.
He built the Golden State Warriors. Mark Jackson. He's going to bring the discipline that team needs. He's a point guard, so he's going to be able to talk to Westbrook from a point guard standpoint. And he knows basketball. He's a New York City, St. John's product. He's longtime New York Knick, and you saw what he did in Golden State. That was his team that won that championship in Golden State.
Now, do you think Mark Jackson, say he gets hired at Houston, do you think he will have the ability to be able to, in an effective, calm manner, strong arm Russell Westbrook to reel him back in? Because I think I think Russell Westbrook's only problem is somebody not reeling him back into reality. You got
to listen to a guy like Mark Jackson, and even deeper than that, Mark Jackson speaks the same language as Westbrook and Harden, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel you.
Hey, based on what you're saying, that makes sense though.
Mikal, D'Antoni, they don't have no Lil Baby or Jay-Z in their tape deck in their when they ride home from the game. You know what I mean? It's just there's a disconnect there. Mark Jackson is going to speak to those guys in their language.
Yeah, they never. D'Antoni and Mikal never played, in Boston
in this era, man. And just you got to be able to relate to, and then Mark's going to have a hell of a coaching staff around him. I didn't like D'Antoni's staff. Yeah. I don't know who his assistants were. I'm like, who are these guys?
Well, Mark Jackson, doesn't he? He still has ties in Dykeman, doesn't he? The Dykeman tournaments in New York City.
I think so. I'm not sure, but I think
he played at Rucker and stuff too. So
he's a New York City guy. Yeah, those guys are going to respect what he's done. Players talk, right?
Yeah.
Guys know the respect that Steph and Clay have for Mark Jackson.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think he'd be a great fit for the Rockets going forward. But Morey won't do that. Morey will make some crazy hire. Sam Cassell wouldn't be bad. He's got championship pedigree, and he's paid his dues. It's typically not the kind of job that a first-year coach would get. You know what I mean? I think I'd want somebody with a little more experience.
Right.
Well, maybe
like Steve Nash. Like these guys are getting first-year coachings, and they don't have any coaching experience to back it up. Listen, name is great. Like Sam Cassell, great. We all watched him. He was great.
Yeah.
But just because you're a great player doesn't mean that you can translate it into being great coaching. I mean,
not at all. I was glad to see D'Antoni step down, and I wish after he stepped down, he would have jumped in his car and drove over to the Reliance Stadium and asked Bill O'Brien to do the same thing. They could have took the same flight out of town.
Hey, I agree with you. Bob was another Bob was a whole nother conversation.
Look, this dude thinks he's Belichick, man. O'Brien's got way too much swag. Like you ain't Belichick, man.
I'll tell you right now. Belichick would have never got rid of DeAndre Hopkins.
Hey man, I gotta go, Jason. I gotta go to class, man. But man, I do this. But unicorns. You sent me a question about unicorns.
Yes.
Luka is a unicorn. Anthony Davis is a unicorn.
Jason Tatum, maybe.
Jason Tatum is a baby unicorn.
Yes.
He's the unicorn that's first born with the real wobbly legs, like a newborn horse.
He's coming. He's coming.
He's a unicorn, and you got 3 unicorns in the league, and those are the 3.
All right, man. Hey, look, I know you're a busy man, and I appreciate you taking some of that valuable time and spending it with us. Joe, I hope you'll come back and visit us again soon.
I will, man. Love you guys, brother. Enjoy.
Take care, Joe.
Tell your son to keep grinding, man. Show up early and leave late, brother.
I do. I will.
If you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you're among the stars.
Hey, let us know when your daughter plays on that TV.
It's on the Golf Channel. You see the Notable Gay is coming on December the 9th, I think, on the Golf Channel. You'll see it. Just watch the Golf Channel. I
watch all the time.
It'll be on there.
I just want an autograph, Joe. I just want an autograph.
Done
That's
deal.
all I'm asking for, man. You can mail it to me. I'll pay for the postage. I just want the autograph. So when she goes to the LPGA,
this guy.
You talking about her? I thought you were talking about her.
How are you going to do that to him? He's the guest, and you're asking for his daughter's autograph.
Hey, Joe, I gotta say one thing. I watched your Grizzlies highlights real quick before you left. Man, people needed to give you more time, bro.
Dude, I was just talking to my wife about that today, but that was me. If I would have stayed with it and kept grinding, I watched a bunch of. I put all of these tapes on Jump Drive here recently. I got all my VHS tapes and I found them all. And I was watching. And I was like, "Damn, dude, I was really close to really, making a breakthrough." And went to Europe. I had a great career. Look, I was Michael Jordan over there, but I think I could have been a household name here. But
brother, I gotta say, brother, your mid range was your mid range pull up that free throw area. That was a rat.
Hey, for y'all that don't know, Joe played against Greg Ostertag in the finals for state. Remember that?
Yeah. Texas high school basketball. Yeah, big O.
Man, y'all looking good, man.
Still good friends to this day. If he's ever watching this podcast, Greg, love you, brother. That guy gave his career up because he gave his sister a kidney. A lot of people don't know that. Greg Ostertag retired from the NBA because
I didn't know that.
He gave his sister a kidney, man.
Shit, let's get you both back on here one day.
We got to find him. I don't know where he's at. Greg's probably sitting on the farm somewhere with about $50 million in the bank, drinking a mug of Michelob Light right now.
100 acres out there in Duncanville, just chilling.
Smoking a stogie somewhere.
We'll find him. All right, take care.
Yeah, man, appreciate you guys.
Study hard. Hey, so that was my boy Joe Stevens, former Houston Rocket, current judge. I'm glad he was able to attend this show, and hopefully he'll be back on soon. Great guy. Hey, moving on.
Wait. Can we get him to replace you?
Hey, that's not bad. Hey, it wouldn't take much.
Awesome. He was way better than you.
My wife is better than me, but that's not about the point. It's not the point here, Jake. Hey, listen, I'm gonna move on real quick. We gotta move this up along a little bit.
Let me ask you real quick.
Yes.
As we all know, and as everybody watching, we are the Whiskey Hour. What are you drinking tonight, Jason?
Oh, hey, I'm glad you said that. Reminded me because we are almost at that point. I'm drinking a very unique Savannah iced tea bourbon or sweet tea bourbon. You can sip it or you can mix it with some lemonade. Either way, it is delicious.
Damn. I'm going a little classy again this week, following up because I'm waiting on my order of some nice Jefferson's Ocean eventually when Jason gets over here and get it for me. Secondly, this is what I'm sipping on again, folks, who weren't here last time, the old Cedar Ridge. The quintessential.
That one.
My boy Jason got me onto this. It's a very, well, as my friend said, it puts you in the dirt. It's very smooth, but it's very strong. And I love it.
The dirt. Yes, Brandon Herrera. It is very yummy, Herrera. Very yummy. Hey, look, guy. Finals matchup prediction. Will Boston make it out of the East? Before you answer that, Eric, remember now, the Heat. These guys are scrappy dogs.
What
makes you think you can beat the Heat? There's 2-1 in the series. Will they make it out and be unbiased about it?
Unbiased. Am I nervous? Yes. Unbiased. Do the Heat have talent? Yes. Are the Heat a better basketball team? No. Well, I will tell you this. I've fought you for a long time about Gordon Hayward because I do love Gordon Hayward and what he does. I love
now
him.
you're coming around to Gordon Hayward. You know you need him now.
I admitted it. I admitted it to you the other day. With him coming back, it doesn't matter if he gives us 10, 15, 20. He has that presence that we need. And I think with him in the mix, staying healthy, and we all get together, and you have the Kemba, Marcus, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Gordon Hayward on the court at all that one time together, that 5 right there, because
they're going to need it. Out of bio, they're going to need it.
The Boston Celtics will win the next 3 games.
Yes, Mr. Jake is on. He's monitoring our quality of showmanship.
That's a very nice headset, Jake.
Well,
Joe's going to have the exact same one, Walmart Xbox style. Now, numero uno, the Celtics literally stopped playing defense after halftime.
I agree. 100% I agree. It pissed me off.
I didn't watch game 3 because, football.
They blew him out.
Football. But games 1 and 2 were the exact same.
Mm-hmm.
Decent size or big in game 2, lead going into halftime.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess Jason Tatum decided to not be a superstar and forget how to play basketball for an entire half.
Shots fired on Tatum. I know Eric is really upset with that quote.
No, I'm not upset. I'm not upset. What I think about Tatum is Joe said it great. Tatum is a baby unicorn learning how to walk. And the one thing, is Gordon Hayward physically better than Tatum? No, not at all. But Gordon Hayward mentally is more prepared than Tatum. And I think that with Gordon Hayward in the mix kind of gives Tatum that kind of push, because at the end of the day, I think subconsciously Tatum knows that when Gordon's on the floor, if he needs to throw it away, Gordon can score. Gordon will go off for 30 if he wants to. And I think that's that cushion that they need. Like, I mean, I love Tatum. I love the Celtics. I think it's a great unit, but
you lost me at if he wants to. Then why wouldn't he every night? You're telling me in the Eastern Conference Finals, Gordon Hayward doesn't want to go off every night for 30 points?
That's why I've been telling Jason that I'm so upset about his production this year, because if Utah, he was a threat at any chance, any time in the game. He was a very, very liable threat. He gets to Boston, he's kind of – I think he plays scared, man.
I love the comments I get when I pop on random shows.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera. I appreciate that. In the sake of time, I want to move on to the next one. NBA Draft Outlook. Who goes first? LaMelo Ball?
Yes.
Is he going to go number 1?
Yeah.
Why do you think he should go number 1?
Well,
everybody else in the league, why would you choose LaMelo Ball to go number 1?
Because he's mentally – I think he's more mentally poised than the rest because of his professional career that he's had at a young age. And I don't like his father for his outrageous, outlandish comments, but I like the fact that he's pushed his children. He supports his children and everything they do. So I feel like at a young age, he knew what it takes to win. So I do think that there's a team out there that needs a very, very unselfish point guard. And he's got the height, the size, and the weight will come, man. He's growing.
Oh, no, Eric, you hit it right on the nail, right at the very first part of your comment, because I do agree with you on LaMelo Ball. But I agree for the same thing that you first mentioned. The man's gone up against beasts, grown men, and he's got the experience. You can't get experience in college. You got college experience. This man's got professional experience.
He's been playing grown men.
He got professional and Lithuania, whatever. He's ready to go. And you know what you get in LaMelo Ball. He's ready to go. You know he's not going to be a bust or whatever. No. You don't know he always got out of college. They did great, but you don't know if it's going to transcend into the professional realm. But with LaMelo Ball, you know exactly what you're getting because you've seen him play against grown men. He's got the experience, and he did it well. And I really think that X factor is the reason why he should go number 1. I want to move on real quick.
He's got real quick
MVP award.
Who do I think deserved it?
Right now, Giannis got it, but do you think that that's the one that should have got it? Who do you think? No. My personal opinion is I think that, and I hate to say it, but darn it, LeBron James. I really believe Chris Paul should get it, but for different reasons, but he wasn't considered part of the voting. So given the names that are most out there, I do think Bron should get it. What do you think?
Year 17. That's it. Year 17.
Year 17. Tell me that. Oh, the last MVP award. Is that what you're saying?
Nope. 17 years he's been in the NBA and he's done things he's doing still to this day.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. Yes. Okay. And he has won the award, but he's been snubbed quite a few times.
He's been snubbed a lot.
And I don't understand why.
It's like Joe said. It's like Joe said. If you take LeBron and you put him on any team, they're a contender. Case closed. That's an MVP.
Let me ask you this.
His face.
But Eric, let me ask you this question, because that's a good point you bring up. And I want to hear you say this. Okay, so if going on a team makes them a contender, then why in the world has Chris Paul not been in these conversations? Because let me tell you something. He went to Clippers, contender. He went to the Rockets, contender. Mm-hmm. He went to a team in Oklahoma City that was supposed to be rebuilding and made him a first-round contender.
Yeah.
All on his own. Why is he not in the conversation based on that merit, which is a good merit?
I think he's snubbed a lot too. I would have taken Chris Paul as my MVP over Giannis.
Let me ask you this, though. Based on what I just said to you, do you think that Chris Paul is underrated?
Extremely.
Because I do too. And that's why, everybody gets caught up in these names, Bron and Giannis and Harden and Blase.
You know what the problem is?
We forget about the other guys that are doing great things, like Chris Paul. Maybe he doesn't have the pizzazz. CP3 doesn't have the pizzazz like Bron and them do. He's not flashy.
No. The problem with it is the way that the game is changing nowadays. And the problem, and it's not a problem because progression is great. Things like that of that nature are perfect for the game. But the problem with that is it takes people like Chris Paul, who is a true point guard at heart. And you have people like Russell trying to play point guard, Steph Curry playing point guard. They're very great talent. But people overlook the guys at Chris Paul that will give you 18, 12, and 6 and look for the pass before he scores and is unselfish. And that goes overlooked. But Chris Paul, can he control a game? Yes. Will he go off? Yes.
3 questions, Eric. We're going to move on to football real quick. Just because of time, we need to move on to football. Let me ask you a question. Russell Westbrook, best quarterback in the league right now? Yes or no?
No.
Who do you think? Right now, I think the best quarterback in the league. I still think the best quarterback in the league is Patrick Mahomes.
100%.
Even though he had a rough outing against the Chargers, I still see him as being the best quarterback in the league. I'll put Lamar Jackson number 2. What do you think?
I put Russ over Lamar. I trust Russell's arm more than I trust Lamar's. But Pat Mahomes is the best.
That's a fair statement.
Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. I mean,
let me ask you this question, though. Let me ask you this. Do you think that Seattle has moved ahead of Kansas City in terms of being the favorites in the league?
Too early to tell.
Okay, I'll give you that. I think so. I'm going to move on real quick to Barkley. Bosa, Garoppolo, Michael Thomas, McCaffrey, Locke. Lots of injuries out there right now. Who do you think is the greatest injury to their team? I personally think that Nick Bosa is just because, you can say Saquon Barkley. He's, it's Saquon Barkley, and he's out for the season, whatever.
The guys are trash anyways.
But Saquon doesn't mean as much to his team because their playoff potential is not as great as what San Francisco's is. So I'm putting Nick Bosa as the more significant injury over Saquon for that reason. What do you think?
I would have to say yes because it's a season-ending injury. It's this guy Brandon Herrera, great. I love that you're watching, and I love it. He said Carr's the best quarterback in 2 weeks. I hate to burst your bubble in that one, but Josh Allen has better numbers than him, and I hate to even say that.
Here comes Jake.
How does Russell Wilson literally get this little amount of love from everybody? This is ridiculous at this point.
I love him.
Hey, listen, I'm not saying Russell Westbrook.
I love him. I love Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson is the best quarterback in what year are we in? We're in 2020. The best quarterback in 2020
We're in year COVID year.
Literally.
I like what Jake pops in with those quick
tidbits. I do too. I agree with you on the Bosa thing because the intangibles that the 49ers have created with that team, that roster to be playoff bound as they are, without Bosa on the edge, that's tough, man.
I'll tell you right now, though, I'm still dumbfounded when I see the Denver. I'm shunning Denver Broncos. They're bringing in Blake Bortles, really? Bortles, who could do nothing in Jacksonville. This is who you're going to bring in to supplant Locke while he's hurt.
You know who I feel bad for now?
Denver off of the contender list.
You know who I feel bad for now?
They lost Von Miller too.
I feel bad for Jerry Jeudy now.
Hey, Judy's a thing of the past. He's like, there's no place like home. There's no place like home.
And then Drew Lock gets hurt.
No place like home. I'll never see what I've had before. No, he's not, because Locke's not there anymore. Now you got Blake Bortles for crying out loud.
It's quite comical.
Hey,
it's not comical. It's sad. It breaks my heart. I hate seeing athletes get injured. It hurts.
It does.
You know.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're fantasy league and you got anything invested in Denver, I'm telling you, now is the time to hit the panic button and start putting in other players and take out Jeudy and all the rest of, because they ain't doing nothing.
Just quit the league and don't answer your phone.
Hey, but listen, McCaffrey's out of the league too for a while.
No, he'll be back.
I mean, he's going to be back, but I'm just saying, here's the deal, right? I firmly believe, just like Joe said, you only got so many jumps in the body. Yep. And every time you get hurt, it takes a little bit away from you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And look, watch this. They use Watt. Look how much Houston has used Watt in so many instances. And look at Watt's body. He is breaking down someone. Look, Christian McCaffrey is great as he is, and he's great. But they use him so much that eventually that body is going to break down. Christian McCaffrey, with the way that they use him, he will not last that long in the league. He's going to break down eventually at some point, because that body cannot take that amount of punishment for that long and still be at a high level. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I feel like he has more in the tank than people think, because I feel like he takes care of himself really well. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see.
No, and I definitely agree. We will have to wait and see what happens. Hey, I'm going to move on to your boy, Cam Newton. That bad man, Cam Newton. 444 yards all purpose.
Heather,
3 touchdowns, 1 pick.
I'm going to give
How
you
much
Heather,
more can you do to will your team to win?
Well, I'm going to go back to Heather's question.
Please go back.
She said, as you're saying that about Cam, does it make him contenders? It's still early. I'm a diehard Pats fan. So there's that little angel on my shoulder saying, tell him it's going to happen. Yeah, I want to. I think it might, but it's very slim, far and few between. But what Cam has shown these 2 games is Superman's back, baby.
Hey, he's back. I'm not playing for the money. I'm playing for respect.
That man.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. That's what he's playing for, baby. Respect.
And I will tell you this. A lot of people are going to get very angry with me that are Pats fans. I'm going to say it. Julian Edelman had the most yards receiving this weekend than he ever did, even with the GOAT. I'm telling you, Cam is here, and he's here to stay, and he's coming at people's necks, like he said. And people are going to get really frustrated halfway through the season when they say, shit, I got to play the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
When everybody wanted to say, oh, the Pats are done. The Pats are done. Guess what?
They're not done. Has never been gone.
No, he never
has. Never been gone. We say he's back. He's never been gone. He just wasn't in the right coaching. So I think that Bill Belichick, the master that he was, that built Tom Brady, is going to rebuild Cam Newton. Cam Newton wasn't gone. He just wasn't given a chance. And they should have never cut him in Carolina. And Carolina with Bridgewater, you're going to regret that giving up Cam Newton, because he's got a chip on his shoulder. He don't care about money. He's playing for respect.
And the thing about Cam and Bill is I love it because Bill says, Cam, you have the keys, but I'm going to keep him on a lanyard right now. And that's keeping Cam he's and the thing is he's keeping Cam under his wing and in check, but Cam sees the coach that Bill is and wants nothing less than what he has. Bill Belichick, he says, is the greatest coach he's ever played for.
All right, real quick, Mr. Lee, I do agree with your comment about Cam Newton proving that he has a lot left in the tank. Hell yeah, he's got a lot left in the tank.
And you know what? Hey, I gotta say, no, Lee, I gotta say, Lee, it is
we're short on time. We're short on. I know, Bubba. We're short on time, and I got a lot left to go through. Real quick, I'm gonna move on to the New Orleans Raiders game. Ha ha! Feel trust. Your New Orleans Saints lost. They lost, and Breeze says it's because they were out of sync. No, mofo. You didn't have your boy Michael Thomas, and you lost. Questions, comments, concerns, Mr. Eric?
I'm not concerned. It's just it's one loss. Is it funny? Yeah, but I'm not concerned. It's one loss.
All right, look, we got a couple of minutes, guys. Prayers for James White and his family. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
absolutely.
yes,
Prayers are sent out as we speak.
Yes.
I gotta move on to this rapid fire debate. This is mostly yes or no. Eric, are you ready for rapid fire debate?
Send it.
Here we go. Astros make it out of the wild card round based on lack of pension. Yes or no?
No.
Does the NL still run through the Dodgers?
Yes.
What percentage do you give the Padres to win the World Series?
90%.
Wow. With Tatis and Machado, I'm kind of going to link towards that.
Wait. Those two answers don't add up together.
Yeah, they do.
The NL runs through the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But the Padres have the 90% chance of winning the World Series.
Yeah, because when it comes down to the playoffs and everything like that, and all that, when the time counts, the Padres are going to capitalize.
You don't see the contradiction there.
No, I see the contradiction.
I do.
I let Eric roll with it because
I do.
I'm gonna give my two. Hey, Mr. Jake, I got you, baby. I got you covered on that one. Eric, let's keep rolling because I'm gonna give my take in a minute. Does Boston need to search for another big man in the offseason in order to compete for the crown?
Compete and compete.
Compete for the crown. Do they need another big man in order to compete for the crown to go along with your boy Hayward?
Yes.
Amen. Is Tom Brady washed up given his last two performances?
Don't ask me this question.
I got to.
I don't like the term washed up. I love him. He's the GOAT. He just needs to retire.
All right, give me your opinion. Is he washed up or not?
He needs to retire, and that offense that he thought was going to be so glorious is not glorious. Arians is an idiot.
Should they go after Giannis? In terms, what I mean by that, should Boston go after Giannis?
No.
Interesting. All right, I'm gonna give my takes. Astros make it out of the wild card round based on lack of. You know what? The A's unfortunately have owned the Astros. The A's just have this year, and right now Verlander's out. Probably the Astros uniform again. It is what it is, and I love my beloved Astros. As you can see, I love my beloved Astros, but the unbiased side of me has to report the truth, and the truth is no. I don't see them making it out of the wild card round. Does the NL still run through the Dodgers? Hell yeah! Yeah, it runs through the Dodgers. But, and here's where the contradiction lies, where Jake was talking about. If it runs through the Dodgers, how can you give the Padres 90%? I give the Padres about 60. 60.
Yeah, it's better than half.
It is better than half because they have a really good team. No, Jake, stop.
No, that means that the NL runs through the Padres.
Regular season. Regular season.
No. If they have a 90% chance of winning the World Series, that would mean that the NL runs through them.
Wait, it does run through them. But I'm going to tell you right now, the Padres will meet the Dodgers in the playoffs.
That's fine.
No, that's why I give them 60. And I still say it runs.
That still means that it runs through the Padres and not the Dodgers because you're only giving the Dodgers a 40% chance of winning.
No, that's not it.
If that, because there's another 18.
No, Eric, listen to what he just said. Okay, listen, I wasn't about to shut your mouth. Listen, I give Dodgers 60%, Padres 40%, and that justifies what Jake is saying. Jake, okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
now
it's true.
everybody made me have to sound like an idiot.
You cannot give them 90%.
Yes, I can.
You can't. Eric, stop. I love you.
Want to know why? Want to know why I said
if you give them 90%, what's 9 out of 100? You're going to give the Dodgers 10%? Stop.
Yes,
stop.
You want to know why I said that?
Okay. But if you go 90%, then you have to switch your answer.
Let him explain.
But if you go 90%, then you have to justify why you give the Dodgers 10. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead and give your argument.
Because the Dodgers, I feel like in the regular season, are a fantastic team. They were a fantastic team last year. They're a fantastic team for years, and they will be next year. The Padres are not what the Dodgers dynasty has been. That's why I say that the NL still ran through the Dodgers. But this year in the playoffs,
and your explanation makes sense. But what doesn't make sense is your mathematics. He just thinks all he's saying is you got to adjust your percentages.
I'm not adjusting it. I'm thinking the Padres can pull it off.
Well, then So you're saying that 90% Padres, 10% Dodgers. So you're saying, based on the other question, then, and you would have to change it to justify that you think that the Padres is where the NL runs through.
No, because I'm talking dynasty in the league in the season. The Dodgers are still the team to beat. The Padres haven't proven themselves enough years to come and years past to be that team.
Okay, Eric, at the same time, I'm going to have to let you have that one. We're going to move on to the next question.
Thank you.
All right. I give the Padres – okay, wait, actually, we're beyond that. Is Tom Brady washed up? In my opinion, yes. And I think he's washed up, guy. No, you can't have Mike Evans, Howard, Fournette, and all the other weapons he has and be playing at a very low level. I'm sorry.
Wait, hang on.
1 touchdown and 1 pick in the last game.
So you're putting it on him? Not the people he's throwing the ball to?
I'm sorry. I'm moving on. I told you what I thought, and we're going to leave it at that.
Whatever.
Hey, does Boston need to search for another big man? Yes, they need to search for another big man. Absolutely. And Giannis, I would love to see Giannis, who is looking for a team, go to Boston. Can Boston afford him? I don't know. I don't know if Boston can afford him. Probably not. But I do think either through the draft or trade, they need to make some kind of acquisition of another big man if they want to compete at the next level to match up with the Lakers. Anthony Morales?
Anthony.
Yes. No, Anthony Morales. Yes, they are washed. In my opinion, right now, Miami's going to take it. Miami's going to go on to play the Lakers. And I think Miami is going to give the Lakers a lot of matchup problems.
Oh, Jesus.
Eric, I'm not saying that's what I want. I would like to see the Boston Celtics play the Lakers just because I like the old school rivalry. But and you know what? And game 2 is tonight, baby. Maybe they tie it up. Maybe they go on to win it. And if they do, then that is to underestimate the heart of a champion. And if they're a champion, they're a champion. We'll find out tonight if they can match it up.
Denver's winning tonight.
Eric, first of all, hey, to our guests, I want to say thank you again to Joe Stevens. Hey, man, I appreciate you being on the show tonight. Stay tuned for the 60-yard dash coming up. Mr. Herrera, Miss Young, Mr. Anthony Morales. Hey, I appreciate you guys for commenting. We love you guys, and hopefully you'll stay tuned.
You're going to see me for a full hour in about 2 minutes.
And if you're lucky, you'll bring me on, and I'll do some pop-ups. I like to pop up. How about popper?
That doesn't sound good.
Stop it. We got about 58 seconds. I'm a popper.
Do you guys want to waste that 58 seconds, or do you guys want me to just end it? What do you want to do? It's your show.
Oh, I got 58
I want to say, hey, real quick.
Eric.
I got to say one thing. Tom's not washed. Give blame to the receiver.
Oh, yes, he is. Tom Brady is washed up. Nothing saves those overthrows. And you know what? That is a perfect segue. I will start the next show yelling about Tom Brady.
Calvin Johnson would have caught those. Calvin Johnson would have caught those.
We are going to start the show with yelling about Tom Brady.
Hey, listen, can we spend the last 10 seconds giving him a lesson on mathematics and how mathematics work when you come to predicting your champion and who it runs through?
I do get what he was saying. I just like my numbers to make sense and be logical. He doesn't. It's okay. It's okay.
We're over time. Go to your next show. Love you guys. Peace out.
Take it easy.